it's quite nice when people come and tell me that they enjoy reading my book. It's very satisfying to hear people saying that they read the book and that they enjoy it. And many times people then ask me, what can I read now? What else do you recommend me to read? And I'm very happy when they ask me that. I think we need to bring our minds to this kind of information, to this kind of knowledge. I think it's very, very important to swim, to be surrounded as much as we can with this kind of information that brings us closer to what we really are, to the truth, to life. And so anything that we can read that will bring us closer to that, I think it's very, very important to search for that truth. But together with that, there is something else that many times is somehow not really overlooked, but is not so clearly understood, is that it's very, very important to keep reading, to read more things, to find new things. But it's as important, no more or less important, but as important as the search, it's also important the finding. And by the finding means just taking one idea, any one idea that we appreciate, that we like, from anything that we read, from my book or from any other book, any one simple but idea that is touching our heart, and then to put it into practice. To practice that idea. And to practice means to repeat that idea. The important thing is the repetition. A lot of repetition of one idea, one practice, one understanding, in whatever form we appreciate it. It could be something that we need to do, something we need to think, something we need to, in whatever way it comes, we need to put it into practice. Because otherwise, it becomes, as nice as it is to get new things, it can become a habit, and there are many people that are searching, and they read, and they go, and they discover new things. But then that becomes the whole thing. The search becomes the end. And the end is not the search. The end is the finding. Is to be able to put into practice little things, to practice where? In our everyday life. If any idea is not practicable in our everyday life, it may be some nice philosophical idea, but it's not as important as something we can bring into practice, use it in our everyday life. Even some of the things that are said here in the class, if we just leave them for the class, then it's okay, but it doesn't have the depth or the what it's really made for. And for example, in my book, which is the one that I know most, there are maybe 100 different ideas, possibilities. And just to pick one of them, or two or three, and to bring them into our everyday life, into the way I relate to myself, into the way I relate to other people, into the way I relate to my own thoughts, into the way I relate to the environment, into the way to practice it. until it becomes something that I don't need to think about, something that becomes mine, something that becomes part of my life, part of my being. But until then, it's just an idea that I read, in this case, in Carlos's book. It's a nice idea, but just a nice idea, as nice as it may be, is not useful. It's really not useful. You know, we are full of good ideas. Everybody is full of good ideas. But unless they become our life, you know, it happens many times, not with this, but like people watching movies. If you watch a good movie, a movie that touches your heart, you may have many thoughts in your head. Well, from tomorrow on, I'm going to, wherever the movie touch you, I'm going to do this or that. And you really feel that in your heart. You really are very sure and very clear about what you're going to start doing tomorrow. And then when it comes tomorrow, it's gone. It's completely gone. It's just a vague memory or something that touched you and that it was nice, but now my life is so complex and I'm so busy and I have so many things to do that it's gone. Please do keep looking, keep searching. Life is not what it seems to be. There is a depth to life that is very much available, but it's also very hidden by our worries, our problems, our blindness, our ignorance. So we need to discover that truth. And for that, reading and looking for is very, very important. But together with that, practice what you already know. Whatever you read that it touch you, practice it. Bring it into life. Don't just leave it as something else, something in your memory that it was nice. Make it alive. Just one practice that came into my mind. It can be 100 ones. Just came one practice. Being kind to other people. Being kind to other people is something that many people may read something, or may see a movie, or may understand suddenly out of a dangerous situation or something, the importance of being kind to other people. But then we forget. And then we don't think about it anymore. That's a wonderful practice that we can actually do almost many times throughout our day. And then when you start to do it, you start to wonder, why will I be kind to this person? This person is so difficult. Why will I be kind? How can I be kind? And then you start to think about these ideas more deeply. And if you really don't understand, maybe you look for a way to understand it. You read other books to understand why, or you ask a person that you trust. You ask, why will I be kind when a person is difficult or something? But that's how you get deeper into any idea, by putting it into practice. I guess the reason why for me this is so important, because to me the aim of our life is not really to do something, but it's to become something. And this becoming is becoming a wise human being. That's the meaning of our life, to become a wise human being, to act in a wise way. That should be what we should look forward to. And then everything else is just secondary to it. If you want to lie on the floor,